All right, welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Definitely.
Awesome. So today we're going to be taking a closer look at how Joe Dispenza thinks about like love in relationships.
Oh yeah, he's got some interesting ideas there.
Yeah, and specifically, we're going to be looking at this motivational speech he gave. I don't know if you saw it, but he kind of blends together this whole like spirituality and psychology thing.
Right.
It's really fascinating. So basically, we're going to be unpacking his key message about love, relationships, and self-worth.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. He's got, kind of a unique perspective on love.
Definitely. And we're going to use his own words and examples to like make sure we truly understand where he's coming from. So just to kick things off, one of the things that really stuck with me was Dispenza's idea that you should never have to beg for love.
Oh, absolutely. That's like one of the core things he talks about.
Yeah. So like, what does he actually mean by that?
Like, why is that such a big deal?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think he's getting at the very foundation of a relationship.
Right.
So if it feels like you're always pleading for attention or chasing someone down or like bending over backwards to prove yourself, it's like a giant red flag.
Like a gut check.
Right, exactly.
If you feel like you're constantly trying to earn love.
Yeah. He actually uses this really powerful image. He says, love that is real does not slip through your fingers.
Yeah.
I mean, that really speaks to the inherent security and stability of true love, know?
So it's like, if it feels like love is constantly like on the verge of slipping away,
Yeah.
maybe it's not the right kind of love.
Right. And I think it emphasizes how important it is to recognize those like unhealthy patterns early on.
Yeah.
Dispenza also talks about having an abundance mindset.
Oh, okay.
So it's like believing that you are worthy of love and that there's plenty of love out there for you.
So instead of thinking, will I ever find love?
Yeah.
It's more like love is out there and I am open to it.
Exactly. And he argues that this mindset actually attracts love while fear like repels it.
Okay. Yeah. I can see how that might work. Like
Yeah.
if you believe you're unlovable, you might, without even realizing it, sabotage your relationships.
Right.
Or choose partners who just like reinforce that belief.
Exactly.
But how do you actually get to that abundance mindset? What does that look and feel like in your everyday life?
Well, I think, it's about noticing those negative thought patterns, like all those like scarcity thoughts, and then intentionally shifting them. So instead of focusing on what you lack, you appreciate everything you have, both within yourself, your qualities and in your life.
So it's about like changing the way you talk to yourself in your head.
Yes.
Instead of focusing on what's missing, you focus on what's already there.
Exactly. And you work on developing a really strong sense of self-worth.
So it's about recognizing your value and believing that you deserve love and you're capable of both giving and receiving it in a healthy way.
Exactly.
So it's like, believing that the right kind of love will find its way to you.
Right.
Because you're ready for it.
Yes.
Now, Dispenza also talks about letting go. So this could be like letting go of a person or a job or even just like a limiting belief.
Right. Anything that isn't serving you.
Right. And I think this is where a lot of people can get tripped up.
Yeah.
Because like letting go doesn't mean giving up on love altogether.
No, definitely not. It's about creating space for something better,
Like clearing out all the clutter to make room for something new and beautiful. He uses this great analogy. He says, the tighter you hold on, the more you suffer.
Oh, that's so true.
I mean, think about it. Have you ever like clung to something that just wasn't good for you anymore?
Of course.
It probably caused more pain than just letting go would have.
Yeah, definitely. And Dispenza makes this distinction between holding on and choosing. So with the wrong people, you're constantly grasping, trying to make things work.
Yeah.
But with the right one, it's more of an effortless choosing.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So how does he define the difference between those wrong people and the right one?
Well, he uses some pretty strong language.
Okay.
He says, the wrong people drain your soul and call it love.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They thrive on like drama and insecurity and just like making you question your worth. They're often emotionally unavailable, inconsistent or even manipulative.
Wow, that's a powerful way to put it.
Yeah.
It makes you realize that sometimes the people who say they love us are actually the ones holding us back. So on the flip side, what are some qualities of the right one, according to Dispenza?
Well, for him, the right one recognizes your value. And they make your life better, not worse. They don't drain you. They make love feel safe and secure.
So it's about finding a love that feels like coming home,
Yes.
not like a constant battle.
Exactly. And Dispenza says the right one doesn't play games or make you question your worth. They just choose you. Effortlessly.
That sounds pretty amazing. But it also makes me wonder, like, how do you become magnetic to this kind of love? Dispenza talks about how when you stop chasing and step into your power, love finds you.
Right. Yeah, it's about shifting your focus. You know, instead of looking for validation from outside yourself, you cultivate this inner strength and self-love. It's about knowing your worth, you know, and not settling for less than you deserve.
So it's less about like changing who you are to attract love and more about like becoming the best version of yourself.
Yeah, and that authentic self, the one who knows their value, naturally attracts the right kind of people.
Okay, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So then what does it mean to step into your power? How do you even begin to build that self-worth and confidence?
Well, Dispenza, he really emphasizes self-awareness, you know, facing your fears, challenging all those limiting beliefs that are holding you back. You know, he also talks about how important it is to make sure that your actions are matching up with your values and goals.
Yeah.
Aligning everything.
It's like taking control of your life.
Right, yeah.
And creating a life that you genuinely love.
Yeah.
And then the right kind of love can just flow into that.
Exactly. And he has this great analogy. He talks about how the more you chase love, the more it runs away.
Oh, interesting.
You know, he compares it to like desperately trying to catch a butterfly.
Yeah.
Like you just end up pushing it further away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the act of chasing love like comes from a place of fear. Like the fear of being alone or the fear of like not being good enough.
Right.
And then that fear creates this resistance that blocks you from getting what you want.
Right. He argues that when we're operating from that place of need, you know, that desperation, it doesn't attract abundance, it repels it.
Yeah.
You know, desperation is like the opposite of what attracts real love.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So how do we break free from that? From that cycle of fear and chasing?
Well, it starts with, you know, recognizing those fears, first of all, understanding where they're coming from, and then you can start to challenge them.
Okay.
You know, this might involve therapy, it could be journaling, or even just like honest conversations with friends who you trust. But it's about, you know, really seeing those negative thoughts and then intentionally choosing to replace them with more positive and empowering beliefs.
So Dispenza he's saying that the people who just like effortlessly attract love, it's not because they're trying to fill some void inside them. It's because they've already filled it.
Exactly. He uses this beautiful phrase. He says, love is not a pursuit. It is not something to be hunted, captured, or forced into existence.
Wow.
It is something that aligns with you when you are standing in your worth.
Okay.
You know, and I think it really shifts your whole perspective. So instead of chasing after love, you become the kind of person who attracts it.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
And Dispenza, he suggests that when you're chasing after love, what you're really doing is you're affirming to the universe that you don't have it. You know, you're operating from this state of lack.
So you're almost putting out this message of like, I need love because I don't have it. Instead of I am love.
Right.
And I'm open to receiving it.
Exactly. And he argues that the universe, it responds to energy, not effort.
Okay.
You know, you attract love by embodying it, by becoming the version of yourself that's like whole and fulfilled and just like radiating the kind of love that you desire.
So it's like shifting from that scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset.
Exactly.
It's about believing that you're worthy of love and you don't have to like chase it down or force it or prove yourself to anyone.
Right. He encourages us to become the kind of person who attracts love by actually embodying those qualities of love. Like kindness, compassion, joy, and peace.
So it's less about finding love and more about becoming love.
Yeah, he says that when you stop chasing, you're basically sending this message that you trust the universe.
Okay.
You trust that what's meant for you will come at the right time.
So you step into this space of knowing, of certainty, of abundance.
Yeah. Right.
And that's when love can find you.
Absolutely. So then how do we actually make that shift? What are some practical things that we can do to move from that chasing to attracting?
Well, Dispenza, he talks about focusing on your own personal growth.
Okay.
You know, identify those fears and those limiting beliefs and then work on on changing them.
Challenge them.
He even suggests replacing like negative self-talk with positive affirmations.
Right. Yeah.
And creating a life that you actually genuinely love, taking care of yourself.
Yes.
Physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
It's so important.
Yeah, and it's about setting those boundaries and knowing your worth, and having the courage to walk away from relationships that just aren't aligned with what you want.
Right. He also talks about shifting your focus from needing that external validation to cultivating validation from within.
Okay.
Finding happiness and fulfillment in yourself, not from other people.
So it's like you become whole and happy on your own.
Yes.
And then you attract other people who are also whole and happy.
Right. Dispenza's message, it's all about empowerment.
Yeah.
And recognizing that we're worthy of a love that's effortless and abundant and freely given.
He really emphasizes that the moment you stop chasing love is the moment it finds you.
Yes.
It's like you finally stop running and then love can finally catch up.
Right. And when you let go of that need to control, to force things, to hold on to those people who just weren't meant for you. It's like there's this shift in your energy, your presence changes, and suddenly you're not the one grasping anymore. You're the one being pursued.
It's like that saying, what you seek is seeking you.
Exactly. And Dispenza, he believes that this shift happens because you're not coming from a place of fear and lack anymore.
Yeah.
You're sending out this signal of confidence and certainty and self-love.
It's attractive because you're not chasing anymore.
Yeah.
You're not begging for love.
Right.
You're just being yourself, and that's magnetic.
He believes that people, they don't fall in love with desperation, They don't want to be around someone who's afraid of being alone. They don't gravitate towards people who are clinging or begging or like overextending themselves just to be chosen.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so much of the time we think we need to prove ourselves, to chase after someone to get their attention. But Dispenza's suggesting that it's actually the opposite.
Okay.
Yeah, he's saying that real love, it doesn't require suffering. It's not this battle or game or constant test of your patience.
Yeah.
It's peaceful and joyful and fulfilling.
Yeah.
It makes your life better. It doesn't drain you.
I like that. That's good.
And when you believe that, you attract it,
Yeah.
It's about letting go of the wrong people and the wrong relationships to make space for the love that you deserve.
Yeah.
He really encourages us to step into that belief, to embrace our worthiness and to allow love to just flow into our lives.
And to recognize that we are already whole and complete.
Yes.
And that we don't need anyone else to make us happy.
Exactly. And when you embrace that truth, you naturally attract the kind of love you desire.
I like that.
It's about shifting your focus from seeking love to becoming love.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, love finds you effortlessly. It's like you become this magnet for love, You're drawing it in instead of running around trying to find it.
Yeah, and it's funny because Dispenza also talks about this in the context of not dimming your light for anyone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He says that the wrong people, they'll always try to keep you small because they're threatened by your power, but the right people, they'll celebrate your greatness.
That reminds me of that quote, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Oh, yeah. I love that one.
It's about finding your people.
Yeah.
Ones who lift you up and inspire you to be your best.
Absolutely. And recognizing that someone else's insecurity is not your responsibility,
Yeah.
Dispenza really encourages us to embrace our authenticity and just,
Let your light shine.
Yeah, let it shine.
So stepping into your power also means having the courage to be yourself. Even if it makes some people uncomfortable.
Exactly. It's about becoming the author of your own story, and finding those people who want to be a part of that story, not try to rewrite it.
And it all comes back to this idea that the moment you stop begging for love is the moment it finds you.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, it seems counterintuitive, right? Shouldn't we be putting ourselves out there, making an effort?
Yeah, it's definitely a paradox. But when you let go of that need to control everything, when you just surrender to how life is unfolding, that's when you actually gain more control.
Okay.
You open yourself up to all these possibilities that you couldn't have even imagined before.
It's like taking a deep breath and trusting that the universe has a plan,
Yeah.
even if you can't see it yet.
Right. And Dispenza encourages us to step out of our comfort zone, to embrace the unknown,
Yeah.
to have faith that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and that the right love, the right opportunities, they'll find their way to you when you're ready.
Yeah, his message is it's hopeful and empowering, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It reminds us that we're worthy of love, that we have the power to create the life that we want,
Yes.
and that we're never really alone.
He encourages us to let go of the past, embrace the present, and step into the future with confidence and an open heart.
With a heart full of love.
Yeah, remembering that the moment we stop begging for love is the moment it finds us.
So I'm curious, what were your big takeaways from Dispenza's message? What really resonated with you?
I think for me, it's that love shouldn't feel like this constant struggle or like a test,
Yeah.
It should feel like a safe haven,
Yeah.
like a source of strength and joy.
Absolutely. It's about finding a love that makes your soul happy,
Yes.
not one that drains it.
And just recognizing that we are all worthy of a love that's effortless and abundant and freely given.
Dispenza's words are so powerful, It's like this reminder to step into our power,
Yes.
to know our worth, and to just allow love to come into our lives without forcing it.
Yeah, because the truth is we don't have to chase love, We just have to become the love that we seek.
And in doing so, we kind of create this ripple effect, right? It spreads love and light out into the world.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Joe Dispenza's perspective on love. I hope you found it insightful and inspiring.
Yeah, and remember, the moment you stop begging for love is the moment it finds you.